Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. It's Friday. That's right. You guys have sweat, you've bled, you've spilt tears and toiled to bring home the bacon for your family. Unless, of course, you're still at school, in which case you don't know what life is yet, so stop whining. But if you do fall into the former category, I have some Sopcom goodness to welcome in the weekend for you. So blow off those plans you had to go out and see friends and people and do real life stuff. Just blow it off. Stay in instead with me and the FAF community and all the... That was a great pitch. I should be a salesman. Definitely. Definitely. All right. I've wasted enough time at the beginning of this one. The good news is I don't have any user information to bring you, so we can go straight to the action. It's going to be a custom 3v3 pro level on 6 Iceland's version 5. I'm ready. You guys are ready, and the players are ready. So let's go on over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. Thankfully, for once, actually it's happening quite a lot. The user interface agrees with me. This is Team 1 up here at the top, and this is Team 2 down here at the bottom. Going first for Team 1, over on the far left, we have Taramba, and he's going UEF in mellow yellow, opening first land. To his right in the middle, we have Lollipop. He's going Aeon in Hallyborange Orange, opening first land. And next to him, lastly for Team 1, it's my good friend, fellow caster, co-op mission designer, and of course all-round general FAF goody two-shoots. It's Speed 2 in Burgundy Red, opening first land. There we go. Oh, of course, going UEF, must not forget. So we have 2 UEF flanking an Aeon there for Team 1. On Team 2, down here at the bottom, first of all, we've got Silver Eye. He's also going UEF in Elephantine Grey, opening first and second land. Next up to the west, we have Ryfun, and he's going Cybrin in Spetsnaz Green, opening first land, second air. And lastly, over in the far west, we have Pappy, who's also going UEF in Baby Blue, opening first and second land. So again, we have 2 UEF on the flanks there for Team 2. This time, though, instead of an Aeon, we have a Cybrin in the center. So we should have some pretty hardy base wars going on at the flanks on this one. We've got Mech Marines popping out all over the place, but I think the first ones to make contact with anything are going to be Speed 2 over on this side of the map. Has got a Mech Marine bearing down on an engineer belonging to Silver Eye there. Opens up fire there from the Mech Marine, but a quick reclaim from Silver Eye means that engineer is going to survive with 31 HP. How's it going to go over on the other side of his base? Well, not quite so well for him. Speed 2 will make a kill there, so definitely worth it. That will hamper Silver Eye's expansion. 2 extra mass points, which are going to have to wait. Meanwhile, more Mech Marines passing each other over here. The Snoop for Taramba is going to get gunned the hell down. There's quite a gap, though, between the lead Mech Marine on Taramba and the 2 that were in pursuit. So wisely, I think it's probably a good decision. Pappy is going to turn tail and instead press the attack. He's already got a couple up here. One of the Mech Marines is going to get shot down. One Snoop with its massive 2 DPS wailing away on that Mechs. ACU is going to go and deal with that. But another one over here parked in the nook. And he is just twatting away on that mass point. Should manage to get the kill there. Oh, actually, I don't know. We do have a striker inbound. A couple of shots. It takes 3 shots, remember. That mass point's going to survive with 47 HP. We do, however, have more Mech Marines inbound. And they're going to sail right on past the mass point. I can't believe it. Massively dislike that decision. The Mech Marine down here for Taramba is having some good success. However, we do have a striker inbound. Stopped for a moment as he thought, hang on a minute. That Mech Marine's got 2 guns. I've only got 1. Yes, but you have lots of hit points, so do not be afraid, my friend. That will always steer you well. Speed 2 saying no air as he comes under threat from a T1 bomber from Ryfun. Doing a nice bit of hover bombing there. And got a couple of kills to his name and harassed 3 of the T1 P-Gens that Speed 2 has there. And one of them, the 4th one, had his production stalled completely as the engineer was killed off. It looked like when that got shot down, that bomber had a couple of kills to its name. So reasonable early air pressure there from Ryfun, who might be about to continue. We've got another bomber heading out toward Speed 2's direction. ACUs have all been on the move pretty much. We've got one in the middle there from Ryphon, and then 2 ACUs on the flanks, Speed 2 and Turintaramba moving down towards their opponents. All the other ACUs are a little bit more stationary, especially Pappy, who's sitting pretty right in the middle of his base. Looks like Lollipop's come forward a bit, and Silver Eye's busy getting an upgrade on his commander there. But Turintaramba forcing the issue, moving further forward with the ACU, and would you look at that, Bomber took a lot of extra damage from the mobile anti-airs that are kicking about the archers, but he did manage to kill off those 3 T1 PDs. He's going to get another bombing run in. Won't get any more off after that, but that's taken those other set of T1 PGens, which Speed definitely can't afford to lose, down to around between 50 and 75% health. Speed 2 just about okay for power for the moment, but definitely can't afford to lose any more. And we've got another T1 bomber inbound now. It's going to fly right over the top of the archers, but it must have been heavily damaged as the first archer round to connect blasts that bomber right out of the sky. And what I was going to say, actually, I didn't have time to say it earlier, is that I think, and I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think that all of the players, more or less, with the exception of Speed 2, are featuring for their second time here at Guildcast, which is a massive coincidence. Now, that's highly unscientific. I've done absolutely zero research, and I'm sure some hard copy guy is going to correct me in the comment section below, which I will retract my statement. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Lollipop, Ryphon, Turintaramba, they all kind of seem to pop up in my memory only once. So, strange happenings here. Speed 2, of course, the man to take out here at 2,000 for Team 2. So expect early pressure, and indeed that's what we're seeing. Ryphon with the early air pressure, now moving in with his ground forces and his ACU to join Silver Eye. He's got the Zephamp on board that ACU. Speed 2 is well in retreat, has no upgrades on his comm, is now down well into the yellow, 4,000 hit points on the commander and falling. And Silver Eye's strikers now closing in on Speed 2's comm, who's now into the red, 2,000 hit points and falling. An overcharge and several extra rounds from Silver Eye's ACU will take him down even further to around about 1,000. Thankfully, Lollipop comes into the rescue with a ton of Auroras and now starts to surround Silver Eye's comm. Silver Eye does have Mantis from Ryphon to back him up, so I don't think he's in too much danger, but Speed very lucky to escape there. Build capacity throwing together T1 PDs in the main base for the moment. Harsh work there from Team 2 in the early phases. We've even got units coming east from Pappy. Turintaramba, his advance has been stalled by Pappy's T2 upgrade on his comm. That's starting to produce triads. And Speed 2 is getting an upgrade on his comm. I think I saw that pop up in the chat window a minute ago there, saying that it was going for the T2 engineering suite, not just, of course, for the static emplacements, but just to get some hit points back on his comm as well would be massively helpful. T1 spam coming in from Team 2 surrounding Speed 2's hydrocarbon. Speed definitely doesn't want to lose that. And it looks like he's going to. There it goes. And he's struggling with energy anyway. Well, he has been because of his upgrade. That finishes just as I say it. Curse of the Commentator comes into effect, but manages to rectify it. He's asking for energy dumps from his teammates. One thing Speed has got going for him is that he's grabbed the plateau out to the east. Plateau out to the west, still anybody's game. Silver Eye still pressuring Speed 2. Fortunately, Lollipop is nearby with his comm still. Speed 2 started construction of a triad, going to get the build capacity around him to finish that off while he goes to work on some more T1 PGens, which he clearly desperately needs. And And then there was finally a little bit of a lull in the action. It has been non-stop here inside the first 9 minutes of this game. Team 2 well ahead on Eco, or it looked like it was for the moment, and then of course drops. That curse of the commentator coming in again. Reclaim messing us up. And finally we get some build capacity dropped onto that far western plateau there. 4 units from Turin Turamba, so you should be benefiting with a couple of mexes. I would go straight for some point defense, some air defense before going for the mass points. Maybe even get a land factory online first of all. But luckily for him, there's nothing inbound at this very moment. Nice little run by from Happy. Looks like they're going to score Turin Turamba's hydrocarbon as well. There it goes. Turin Turamba not bottleneck though. Has enough power in reserve. A little bit ballsy. He's going to move in now on Pappy's forward position. 2 triads online. A third 50% done. He has got flapjacks which have started the work, and he's going to finish off one of them there with a nice little overcharge. Get in here and overcharge the other one once it's regen-like. Oh, pretty slow on the power, but he's got enough to deal with that other triad. But we've got an air transport coming in with Fire Beetle, so we've got Ryphon going for the Snipe here. Turin Turamba with 7,600 hit points. He's got 4 Fire Beetles en route, only needs to get 3 to connect. He gets one of them, Turin Turamba, but he's not going to escape the final Fire Beetle, and down he goes at 10 minutes and 48 seconds. Team 1 lose their left flank, and that is really, really bad considering the amount of pressure Speed 2 has been under. He's now taking mobile missile fire while he gets another upgrade on his commander. Game quality, remember, 96% on this one, so despite the fact that Speed 2 was way ahead of Team 2's highest rated player by 300 points, it is still very well balanced. So Speed is going to have to get a lot of work done if he's going to keep his team in this. We all know he's capable, though. We've seen him do some pretty miraculous things here at Guilecast in the past. Lots of units streaming up now the western approach from Pappy, who can afford, I should think, probably to move straight in and pick up Turin Turamba's old base. No forces from Lollipop seem to be heading that way. They are far too concerned with the defense of Speed 2's flank. Speed 2, though, with a lot of extra damage now that he's completed a Zeph amp on board the ACU. Lollipop needs to be a little wary. He's in the yellow on around 8,400 hit points. Silver Eye, of course, with the Zeph amp on board as well, although lacking the hit point buffer that Speed's got. The lack of the engineering suite. Periodic overcharges, though, from Silver Eye, helping to take care of the Obsidians. There goes another 2. But Speed, with the assistance of Lollipop, driving Silver Eye back. But in come some Corsairs from Ryphon, who is being a bit of a dark horse in this one. But I tell you what is dark, and that's a ghetto gunship out from the plateau in the east from Speed, brought in at exactly the right time. With Silver Eye down to around 5,000 hit points, he's going to need Ryphon to bring in air support ASAP. He has got some T1 inties of his own. I'm wondering if Speed wants to get that transport on the ground before he loses it. There goes one of them, and there goes another, but Silver Eye is already well into the red. The damage is done. Another Fire Beetle snipe on the way, however, from Ryphon, but an explosion from Silver Eye will kill those off, and Speed 2 survives. I can't believe what I'm seeing. 8,200 hit points remain on Speed 2's comm, and he levels the game. Silver Eye out of play. Ryphon backing up with his comm. A lovely attempt at another snipe there from Ryphon, but just a few seconds too late. Had they come in a moment earlier, and Speed 2 might have been out as well. That could well have been all over. Speed 2 hastily erecting some rail guns and a radar around him, and also going to get a shield as well, so he's going to turtle up ASAP, recognizing that he's pretty out of position and potentially vulnerable at this point. But that was a lovely ghetto gunship maneuver there from Speed 2. All thanks to these little manufacturing facilities on the side here. Superb stuff from our 2000 rated UEF player. Pappy moving forward, has a unit of build capacity picking up the core mechs. Lots of mass to reclaim, of course. This is going to put Pappy in a very strong position going forward. And unless Speed can move forward and conquer this position, I still like Team 2 to win this, even with the disparity in ratings. Of course, Silver Eye was Team 2's highest rated player, and Tarintaramba was Team 1's lowest rated, so that's a trade you'd normally like to make. But as things stand right now, and the way the battle has gone over the first quarter of an hour of this one, definitely has played into Team 2's hands. And now Pappy looking to solidify his position, make sure Lollipop can't make a play for Tarintaramba's old base. Couple of T1 P-Gens there handed over to Speed 2's control. Always nice to see a little bit of extra teamwork, and that's a lot of T1 spam that's heading up towards Lollipop's base. Lollipop with that T2 T2 land headquarters, and Speed 2 as well, so everybody firmly into the T2 phase, as you'd expect to be at quarter of an hour. We saw those Obsidians playing a decent role in the engagements on the eastern side just a moment ago. Now, we can take down those Oblivion turrets. We can continue our point defense creep right into the main base. And there they go. All three of those Oblivion turrets are down. See the kind of range we're talking there. That's just out of range of the main base. He just has to skip forward a bit and he will have it. But a lot of extra damage now coming his way from the T1 blob that's moved up through the center. Again, minimap not enabled for some reason. Still in that horrible positioning from the end of yesterday's game. Lollipop trying to consolidate his position away from his base, but things not going well at all here for Team 1. Team 2 firmly in control of both of the bases that were vacated. Lollipop forced to bring his commander back to assist. Putting out just 510 power. Less than half of the average of what everybody else is putting out. And Pappy happy to continue the point defense creep towards Lollipop, who is advancing with his ACU, but there's a lot of point defense down here for T2's operational, and in comes Rifon with a massive Corsair barrage. Immediately incinerates the parashield that was protecting Lollipop, and another Corsair as well. Well into the red now, Lollipop. Below 1,000 hit points. He's trying to make a desperate dash for it, but he's not going to make it. And Speed 2 now all by his lonesome. It is 2v1. Full share, not on, I don't think. There it all goes. And now this is looking decidedly desperate for Team 1. Speed has got a couple of attack missile launchers online. Is he looking for a snipe? Well, Ryfun is down here, safely under some TMD cover and some shield cover, recognizing the threat, no doubt, from an earlier scouting flyby. And Pappy up here as well with 2 buzz kills and shield coverage, about to work on a 3rd as well. So attack missile threat is neutralized, all but for the potential assaults on mass points. Plenty of T2 mexes he could go after. It is vitally important that he tries to oust Pappy from Lollipop's old base. Speed 2 just advancing very ballsily with his commander. Almost expecting another wave of Corsairs to engage him at any time. And in fact, are those gunships or transports? So we've got a couple of renegades kicking around, 1 or 2. The rest are transports. But Pappy looking very strong indeed, taking care of the general spam. Ryfun making choice plays with specialist units. Quite a choice there as the gunships roll straight into a large air wing of T1 interceptors. But you've got to try. Attack missiles away, going after those mexes as expected. T2's the priority. And another drop from Ryfun. This time it looks like it might be a T3 drop. Some bricks on board, 2 of them in fact, airlifted around the edge of Speed's base, and they could do a lot of damage. ACU's down here, it is withdrawing. Gonna need some coordination between Pappy and Ryfun. Do have T3 tech on the field for Speed. He's going to be wanting to pump out Percival's as quickly as possible. Nice overcharge deals with the bricks. Lots of stored up energy, allowing him to repeatedly overcharge again and again, and a lot of pillars as well that he's got to call on. With the demise of most of the bricks, there's one more slightly further back that he really needs to deal with. And there it goes. And he's got a Percival to help him now as well. Actually, rather well managed so far, but another nice little drop from Ryfun, sending a brick up to the plateau. This time going after build capacity. 4 little engineers. All they're doing is working on their hilltop home. Prime real estate. Hard to get to when you've got bricks assaulting you. Hard to reinforce, so that is going to be the end of that position on the plateau for Speed, whose sphere of influence seems to be diminishing as the minutes progress. 24 minutes gone more or less in this one now, and now the forward outpost under pretty heavy assault from both Ryfen and Pappy. Combination of T1, T2 and T3 units have depleted the shield gens and knocked out all of the T1 point defense within those wall sections. And that is the end of that TAC missile base as well. Percival in retreat, and that is Ravager fire. So Pappy with a Ravager creep now. T3 engineering suite on board the commander, and it won't be long before that is reaching deep into Speed's base, and really there's nothing he can do about it. He can't counter with air, he's outmatched, and he doesn't have the firepower to overcome Pappy's position. Ravagers will eat him alive. Ryfen asking his partner not to die, please. That would make for an interesting turnaround, because I'm pretty sure Speed 2 would make a fair go of this against Ryfen on his own, but Pappy causing all kinds of headaches now. I don't think there's any real danger of it. Speed 2 with 74 kills on that a fully startup commander, but it's surely not going to matter. Thousands of rounds a second being unloaded up towards the main base in a hailstorm of UEF goodness. Thing of beauty. See Speed 2's commander in the background there, and bricks being airlifted in to sandwich Speed, who very rarely a player to give up. He likes to fight to the last. Has a Ravager of his own right in the center of the main base, but it's not going to accomplish much. And there he goes. Might actually have been a control K. Maybe I missed a fire beetle or something. It looked like he had a decent amount of HP, but resoundingly beaten. Very fine work there from Team 2. Very entertaining, albeit short game compared to the ones we've seen recently. But I hope you enjoyed it, guys. As always, more to come from me in the future. But in the meantime, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile, signing out.